garden design so far. So we have, this is looking north. We have in the far right corner here, shed. The shed is there already, and what we propose is a lean-to, so a covered outdoor seating area to provide shelter in all weathers. We already have beds where these beds are in the sort of central space, but they need to be raised beds ideally, so they're accessible to wheelchair users. And all throughout this, we're dealing with lead contamination in the soil. This path through the centre of the site, we want to be nicely curved, but also accessible again for wheelchairs or pushchairs without too many twists and turns. So kind of like a nice, gently snaking path. To the left, really what we want to do is have a food forest. So the whole site is being designed using permaculture, ethics principles, tools and techniques, and food forests are a big part of that. So we really want to have this area to the left of the path as you walk through. This will be a edible and useful food forest, so mainly food, fruits and berries and other things, but also maybe some fibre and some fuel, things for dyes, for weaving, for soaps, all these different uses, just to demonstrate what we can do, all on a garden scale. In this design here, we have a kind of little kids' den over in the corner here. This is something that's still in discussion because we also really value the shade under these elders and the protection that gives us psychologically, feeling like you're protected and sheltered by trees. So we have a bench there which is well used and it's well liked. We don't want to put in a children's area right next to a place of rest and peace. So I think that will probably be redesigned. Along this far strip, this is the shadier side of the garden. It doesn't get a lot of sun, so it makes sense to have compost along this north fence. We will have significant water catchment. There isn't any mains water on site, so any water we need, and we highlighted a lot of need this summer with it being so hot and dry. The summer of 2022 was extremely hot, including the hottest day on record in this country. So we really need a lot of water catchment, and we will do, especially if we are going to use a polytunnel or greenhouse or something similar in which to bring on plants. That also provides a bit of extra shelter, somewhere else for people to go, maybe particularly if people need a bit of time on their own. Maybe some people might not be confident around other people, especially to begin with when they start coming to the garden. So having spaces where other people can go is going to be really valuable and really important. That applies to this shelter just behind the polytunnel here. The open shelter will be a kind of workshop, open space where people can work on projects, whether that's making a bird box or painting some pebbles, or maybe even that can double up as a kitchen area. People can chop up vegetables. This will all evolve in time. In this corner here, we have a compost toilet. It's going to be very important to have a toilet on site so that anyone visiting the garden can relax and they can have a drink and enjoy their time there without having to leave the site as they currently would do to go to the toilet. The nearest toilet we have is in a cafe 10 minutes away, so that's not ideal. So a toilet's really big on the list of things that we need. This strip of plants between the polytunnel and these raised beds, we propose that will be willow. and that will give us some stick wood for fuels for ketty kettle and other uses. It will also, if we pick the right type of willow, give us some willow for crafts, basketry maybe, but also maybe making charcoal, artist charcoal, which can feed into people doing art and things within the garden space. So that's another aspect to that. All of this area in this southeast corner is shaded for significant parts of the day by this large sycamore tree. So that's a benefit in the summer when it's really, really hot, but it does still get enough light. So we're aiming to make the most of that. So the polytunnel will be in the shade for part of the day in the hottest days in the summer, but that's fine because it still gets plenty of sun in the morning and in the afternoon when it's not so roasting hot. So it shades it and protects the polytunnel during those times. And then kind of finally, really, on this south fence, this is the sunniest part of the garden. The aim here is to have more raised beds, and these can be deep, quite deep planters, but the idea is that these will also be wicking beds. So at least some of these will have a reservoir of water underneath a top layer of soil with wicks that go down from the soil and draw up water as and when they're needed. So in order to water this, all we need to do is top up that reservoir maybe once a week, once every couple of weeks, and just keep an eye on it. And the plants will have that water there to draw upon, and they're drawing it up from their roots, which is much more akin to how they work in nature. There are other aspects that we need to include in this. This is only a kind of phase 2 design. There will be other elements to it, different social aspects particularly. The idea is that this central space, we leave a big enough clearing for social activities. So we want to be able to put up a gazebo, have a fire pit, have social activities there. We've had a lot of people come and suggest different things that they might want to do there, like yoga or Reiki or different things like this. So having an open central space gives us that ability to hold events and different workshops, different activities. It also, there's a link between our psyche and feeling protected and feeling safe in a space which is enclosed without making you feel like you're trapped, where you have open vistas, open views, a feeling of openness, but also a feeling of being enclosed and comforted and feeling secure. So all the time we're aiming for that, and to make sure that's something that we incorporate into the garden. So the idea is to welcome and include anyone who wants to be a part of this garden. It's right in amongst the houses in Cheshunt, and it's really going to be a great community asset. We've only been working on this for a year, and already we've turned it from a rubbish dump, basically, overgrown with brambles, into a productive, vibrant social space. And we've already eaten a lot of food from it, even in this first year, even without being able to grow in the soil, just in the planters with a limited number of people, very limited water, limited time there. We've had quite a lot of herbs, and we had tomatoes, potatoes, various different cucumbers, squashes, courgettes, lots of different leafy greens and things, just from the few planters and pots that we've got on this south wall this year. So yeah, about a year in, and we've already achieved a lot, but it kind of feels like we're just getting started as well. So it'd be really great for anyone to come down and join us in the Harmony Garden.